Good afternoon, friends. Here is your week's State of the Union address. I'll jump right into it. Okay, that Lawrence Free State duel that was supposed to happen last night likely will be rescheduled in mid-January. And that's something that we don't really feel when we lose a couple of people due to injury or illness due to the size of our roster, but other schools feel that. And they just didn't have enough to make it competitive. If we would have all had our kids make weight, then we would have won the duel before they even did the coin flip. So we decided to reschedule that thing on down the line so we can actually get your kids out on the mat. Winter break practice is probably the most important thing on here. Technically, by CACCHS rule, we are allowed to practice on Monday the 22nd, but we're not going to. I know some people will start to travel right away, right after this weekend's competition, and I want to give you guys more time with your family, so we're not going to come in for a random one-off practice on a Monday. So you will be off from basically after this week's competition up until the 29th. On the 29th, we return to practice. And here's a big change from what we talked about at the parent meeting. I guess it's not that big a change. We're just backing up a little time. Okay, so we're going to start practices at 8 o'clock a.m. and they'll go 8 to 10 rather than starting at 10 and going to noon. And while that is just a hair later, it's no earlier than our kids get up for school. We're going to keep them in that routine, but also it gives you more day after practice is done. So you can spend more time with your families and doing the things that you want to do while you're off. This weekend, when we go to ACCHS, and remember that is Atchison County Community High School. That is different than Atchison High School. If you drive to Atchison, Kansas, you're going the wrong way. You want to turn around and head to Effingham, Kansas. But we will leave for that one at 6 a.m. on Saturday. And I'll be completely transparent. We got kind of hamstrung there. Like the reason that we've always gone to that tournament is we've always been able to bring as many wrestlers as we want. And when we have as many non-varsity wrestlers as we do, it's really hard finding a place that will let you get all those kids in. And historically, Atchison County always has. And I found out on Tuesday of this week that this year they're not going to let us. And the reason being, we kind of made that deal with them. Like, we will come to your tournament if you let us bring everybody. We improve the quality of the tournament. So they said yes. Now they have a new athletic director who didn't know about that prior arrangement. And they're telling us we can only bring one person per weight class. So it's going to look a little different this week. It's not just going to be our second line wrestlers, because our second line wrestlers wrestled last Saturday, and then they wrestled on Tuesday in a tournament midweek. And so if we took them, then we have a handful of kids on the team that still haven't wrestled a match yet this year in competition for one reason or another. And when those kids go to Christmas dinner and grandma asks, how's wrestling going? I want them to have an answer. So some weight classes where we only have 2 kids, like most schools, that'll probably be the same person that wrestled on Tuesday. But unlike most schools, we have a couple weight classes where we have 9 kids. And so I've got to go through there and I got to see who's wrestled the most and who hasn't. And so if you're wondering why we didn't go by depth chart order this week, that's it. Because every kid deserves an opportunity to develop. And we thought that we were going to get that opportunity for everybody, but it is what it is, and we'll control what we can control. Okay, on Saturday also for the Baser Linwood LadyCat Invitational at Baser Linwood High School. We're going to leave at 5:30 a.m. I'll have the building open by 5:15 a.m. And if you're not going anywhere this weekend, like if you're not competing this weekend, you don't have practice, like you are on Christmas vacation, right? If you want to see some really high level wrestling, get over and watch that LadyCat Invitational, because it's harder than our state tournament. That tournament is harder than Iowa. We could go there and we could finish 9th at the LadyCat and have a wonderful day, right? That's just how tough the competition is. So if you like really high-level wrestling in an awesome environment, I would suggest come on over there and watch. Wrestling starts at 9 a.m. Now, you will have, I've already given everybody this, but I'm going to put it back in here again. There's a folder that I use in Google Drive called Info Sheets and Competition, Info Sheets and Competition Rosters. So as our challenge matches start going, I can start filling out those sheets, and you'll have real-time access to those. So you can go in and check and see at any time, like, who's on the competition roster for that week. I can't start filling that out, though, until we do our challenge matches. So it'll never be full before Monday, usually not before Tuesday. But also, I usually get our info sheets for tournaments a week or 2 in advance, and I can put those in there. So that way you can look at those. You can have all that tournament information long in advance of me sending out this email. But that's it. So this weekend, if I don't see you, if you're not at Baser, have a wonderful Merry Christmas, great time with your families. Love y'all, and we'll see you on the mats.